What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today I'm bringing you guys a drift build in Forza 5 of the 1977 Ford Escort RS1800. Now, some of you guys requested this car, and I haven't really checked it out yet, so I'm gonna be this will be my first impressions of the car, as well as me showing it to you guys for the first time. So, really light car here to start off with, just under 2,000 pounds. But not very powerful either. 115 horsepower, 126 pounds-feet of torque, 1.8 liter. So we may end up swapping a motor into this. It all depends on how low we can get the weight. I'm thinking we probably won't need much more than 400 horsepower to make this thing go crazy sideways. I mean, it'll go sideways the way it is, but I'm talking like, you know, hold massive angle over long sweepers. So, just looking through the liveries right now, and I think that, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go with the colors, to be honest. Oh, and that's the only color we can get. Never mind, then. But I do like that color combination. I like it a lot. I don't understand why this car is so pricey, though. I mean, I understand it has history and heritage, but dang. Turn 10 overpriced this car, I think.
77 Ford Escort RS1800.
Now, as far as the setup goes, it's funny because I like the wheels that they have on its stock, actually. The stock wheels look quite nice. They just fit the car nicely. I'll probably end up putting new wheels on it anyway, but the stock ones really do look quite nice. I like them a lot. It's always fun to see how far the suspension will drop. Street, sport, race, wow. Yeah, it's tucking in the back and tucking a little bit in the front, too. That's actually quite a bit of drop right there. Quite a bit. And, oh wait, never mind, we don't really need these. We don't really need to do much else with that for a drift build. If we were doing a circuit build, which, by the way, I will be doing circuit builds very, very soon. If we were doing a circuit build, we would definitely go full out on the anti-roll bars, lightening the car, everything. We'd go full out on that stuff, but don't really need to worry about it too much, at least in my opinion, for drift builds. Maybe if you want to make, I don't know, maybe if you're really trying to get your car perfectly refined to exactly the way you want it to be, but most of my drift builds are basically trying a car out for the first time. And if I'm trying it out for the first time, I have to kind of give it a general base setup and then work from there. So we're going to go ahead and go with street tires, because street tires usually have a good balance between grip and feel, I guess you could say, the ability to slide. So rear tires, 235s will work pretty nicely, I think. Not too big. Definitely not like, you know, massively just like huge tires that'll make it impossible to slide. Those look nice. Let's see. So do those, actually. Those actually look really nice. So do those, too. I'm trying to think here, because there's a lot of good-looking wheel options for this car. You know what, actually? I'm going to go with these Compomotive MLs. They look really nice. And I'm not sure if I want to bump the size up or not. I'll check. But 15, oh my god, the stock, they're 13-inch rims. That's tiny. That's tiny. I mean, today, a 17-inch rim is considered small. 15, 16, 17, 18s are way too big. Ugh, they're way too big. I'm thinking of going with 15s. 15s look nice. They look, they're not too small, but then again, they're not too big either. I think the 15s actually suit this car quite well. There's a lot of actual tire left, so it's not like you're, you know, just basically riding on rims, but it does leave a little bit of room, which is nice. So we can, that looks cool. That looks cool. We're gonna go with that. That looks cool. And for the rear wing, let's see. We could take it off. We could leave the stock one. I like the stock one. I think it actually looks a bit, I don't know, kind of almost like the back end of that car, almost like it's a bit like it's missing something without that lip spoiler. It just looks kind of like something, like, you know, something was taken. You know, like, you know, something was taken from the back end of that car. Now we could swap a 1.6. We could swap a, oh my god, we could swap a 5.7 liter V8. We could swap an LS into this thing. Ooh, that's tempting. That's really tempting. So tempting, in fact, that we're going to do it. So tempting, in fact, that we're going to do it. Because that is that's a huge, like, swap. Wow. And go ahead, it's twin turbo. Whoo, twin turbo LS in the car this small and this light is going to be insane. I can already tell you guys, it's going to be insanely, sideways, like all over the place. It'll spin up its tires, no problem at all. I think the bigger problem here is going to be not keeping it keeping it sideways, but keeping it from not being sideways 100% of the time and not spinning out all over the place. Because, like I said, that's my original worry with this car when I first kind of looked into it without looking at the options I had for tuning it. My original worry was that I wasn't going to be able to get enough power out it, but oh no, we're already up to 580 horsepower, so, I mean, with this LS swap, so, huge power in a car that is tiny. 628 horsepower. So you could race turbos in there. 745 horsepower. God, this is powerful. 780 horsepower. Dang, I'm actually a little bit scared of how this car is gonna handle. Like, am I gonna be able to keep it under control, or is it just gonna fly all over the track? So it came out with 789 horsepower, so just 10, well, not 10 if you round it up, but 11 horsepower off from 800 horsepower in a car that weighs just slightly over 2,000 pounds. That's a little bit insane. That's a little bit crazy, but then again, my builds are a little bit crazy. So, you should come to expect giant horsepower in very light cars when I build, when I do drift builds. I mean, yeah, I'll sometimes do, like, really balanced builds, but most of the time, I just like to go just flat out crazy with these things, these builds. Let's see here. 6, and bring that down all the way. Soften these springs, front and rear. If they ever, like, actually start to move. See, the thing is, they take a really long time to get going, but then once they get going, they're fine. 6.5, there we go. 6 and 5.5. And for the diff, obviously everything up to 100. And apply that. And let's go test drive this thing and see what happens. See what kind of monster we've created. Let's go to, I'm gonna say, let's try it out at Bernese Alps. Let's try it out at Bernese Alps because it's got some huge sweepers, some massive sweepers, which will really give us a chance to actually see how this thing is when you're like full on into the power in like 3rd and 4th gear, just going crazy sideways around these sweepers. Because I imagine it's going to be pretty sweet. And also, the reason I'm actually starting to test these on Bernese Alps a lot more is because Bernese Alps is now really popular in the drift rotation online. So in order to be competitive, you have to actually practice some of these tracks a lot. And this track is definitely one of the ones that you have to practice. So let's go ahead and see how it sounds. Not really the sound you'd expect to see coming out of this car, but it's awesome nonetheless. Let's just get those rears warmed up a little bit. Oh, yes. That's a full brake stand, by the way. 100% on the brakes. Love this interior. It's cool. It's really basic, but it's like, it's effective. I like it. Ooh, that little bit bad on the entry. Whoa. It's tighter than I thought it would be, that's for sure. The steering is tighter than I thought it would be. It's heavier steering than, like I said, than I thought. I expected it to actually be really light steering, considering the fact that it's a light car. But it's funny, because it's actually quite heavy steering, actually. It feels quite heavy. Not that that's a bad thing, though, because heavy steering in a car that this size can actually make it a lot less twitchy. And I actually like my drift cars to have a little bit heavier steering, just because of the fact that, like I said, it makes them a lot less twitchy, and it makes them a lot easier to control. Now, that's not to say that I like uber heavy steering, you know, like to where you can't, you know, just can't move the wheel, but I do like it to the point where you can, where you do feel like if you want the car to go into a complete 90-degree drift, you have to deliberately make it do that. Like, you have to say, yes, I am putting this car into a 90-degree. It's not going to just snap on you. That's what I really like about this car. Like, in just the short amount of time that I've driven it, it's very, everything that you do has to be deliberate. You have to, your inputs have to be like, yes, I am telling you to do this. Like, I want you to do this. This is what I want you to do. And I know that it was the right decision to make at the time. Now, hitting that wall was not the right decision to make at the time, but we'll gloss over that. Now, I really haven't seen any points so far with this car that I don't like. It doesn't have any kind of understeery push, which is nice. And the steering, though, is very, very nicely weighted. Very, very nicely weighted. I'm going to have to get used to it because most of the drift cars that I have a lot lighter steering than this. Like, for example, oh, there we go. There we go. We're gone. Yeah, definitely going to have to get used to it. But I can already tell you that I really, really like it. It's funny because you'd think it would be a lot like an 8.6, but no, 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 no. My 8.6 is, I could already tell you that my 8.6 has way, way heavier steering than this. Way, way heavier steering. Now, I will need to do a little bit of work on the gearing. The gearing isn't exactly the way I want it. It's good, but it's not exactly the way I want it. I might make 4th a little bit longer because 4th seems to be like where this car likes to hang out. But, so I'll make 4th gear a little bit longer. But, like I said, though, this car is, really, really quite nice. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, we almost, completely lost everything. I was just kind of hanging on for dear life there, just hoping that we'd keep our points. Just hoping and hoping and hoping that, that I wouldn't just spin it and go into the wall. I was just trying to counter steer at that point, like just counter steer, bring it back. I wasn't even trying to keep the drift going. I didn't really care if we banked our points right then and there. Come on, then. Oh, get it sideways. There you go. And I don't know if the feeling of the steering is like, if you guys, it doesn't really translate over well into what you're seeing in the gameplay. Like, it just seems like, oh, he's turning the wheel, you know, and you can't really tell how much the difference in effort is. But, like, for example, in the 8.6 or the V8 Miata that I have, those cars are really, they're good, but they're really, really twitchy. Like, a slight turn of the stick will send those, like, to full lock. But, well, not full lock, but pretty close to it. This, though, I have to, like, I have to deliberately, like, I have to, like, take that control stick and move it all the way to the left or all the way to the right, and to really make this car do what I want it to do, and that's a good thing. It really is a good thing. I'm liking it more and more. The more I drive this thing, I'm really, really liking it. And I thought that putting a V8 in here was just going to kind of make it a joke car, just kind of make it not that effective, but, you know, like, just kind of like a novelty, like, oh, hey, look, I have a V8 and a, you know, an RS1800, but no, it's really, really good. It's really effective. Probably the most effective V8 swap car that I've ever done so far, and I know I screwed up that line majorly, but, at least in my opinion, one of the most effective V8 swap cars, if not the most effective V8 swap car I've ever done. I definitely plan to take this thing online, because if I can take this thing online, I guarantee you it'll do well. I guarantee you it'll do really, really well. In fact, like, up against, really? Oh my god, did you guys see that? It didn't even take any of the points. Wow. I'm actually really surprised at that. It didn't even take any points away. Oh, that's more angle than I asked for. Oh, god. But yeah, though, I can't wait to take this thing online, because I'm just, like, envisioning right now. I can tell you that this is going to be effective online, because ooh, that was really quite close. Really quite close. But yeah, it's going to be really fun to use online. It's also not a very widely used car online. I don't really see these online a lot. I mean, you see a lot of 8.6s. You see a lot of, oh gosh, I'm trying to think. You see a lot of BMWs, a few AMG Mercs, but you don't really see Escort 1800s a lot, because they're not, I mean, obviously in the drifting community, you're going to see a lot of JDM, and that's understandable. Nothing wrong with that. JDM cars are amazing at drifting. You've got your Silvias, your 240, well, 240 Sylvia, same thing, but I just thought of the 240 because I'm going to be also, a lot of you guys have been asking for me to do a drift build on the 240, and I will be doing one very, very soon, along with some circuit builds of other cars. But this car, though, I am definitely going to do an episode of online drifting with it because it is definitely definitely worthy of that. I kind of use these drift builds kind of as a benchmark to see whether the car would be effective enough to do an episode of online drifting with, and this car definitely meets that mark. It definitely meets that mark, and surprises me and impresses me. I really want to take this thing online, really want to see how it does, but if you guys enjoyed this build, don't forget to leave me a like, tell me in the comment section below what you thought of it, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more, and I will see you guys later.